Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are back in War Thunder and I'm going to be having a look at the changelogs which have come out after the major update Direct Hit. I will do a video looking at Direct Hit itself and some of the things that we missed when it comes to the dev servers, because obviously between the dev servers and live servers there's a bunch of things which do change. I'll also be having a look at some data mine stuff later on, see what's going on. The first thing is Happy Tankers Day. So Tankers Day is on the 12th of September, where the Russians celebrate the Tankers Day. And basically what you can get is you can get a cool decoration, which is available in the in-game shop. Also, at the same time, when it comes to this, all you have to do is win 5 times in random battles whilst controlling Soviet ground vehicles, and you can get yourself one of the decorations for Tankers Day. So some of these are returning, some of them are new, such as the military road sign traffic, but the idea is you're able to get one, and then the others you can purchase in the in-game store. If you haven't got them in the past, then you'll be able to purchase them. If you have, well, you've already got them. And then also, the KV-1E is back on sale again for Golden Eagles. The KV-1E is stupidly strong. It is a very good vehicle. It's very similar to the KV-1B that the Germans have. The only issue is what it goes up against compared to the KV-1B, but it is a solid premium. The only issue for it is its gun. It's a very good purchase and works incredibly well, even in the 4-3 lineup with the KV-165 and also some of the other elements. I've been using it for many years. It's really good for decals, it's really good for dailies, it's really good for events, and all of that wonderful stuff. So if you're interested in it, make sure to pick it up in the game. I would personally recommend it. It's a lot of fun. They've also added in the marketplace trophies for updates Direct Hits. So now there is 40 new camouflages, which are obviously from CCs, which have created stuff on the War Thunder Live. Now there's 18 camouflages for ground vehicles, 18 for aircraft, 2 for ships, and also 2 for helicopters, and of course the coupon for the decal itself. So the decal itself is basically the guided bomb from the Soviets, and also a lot of really cool camos. You've got the Show Must Go On camo. It looks really nice on the Viggen, and also there are many others, especially one for the Spitfire, which looks absolutely beautiful, which I'll be trying to get. So make sure to check out that. Make sure to have a look at the skins in game. If there are any that interest you, obviously check the marketplace to see if any are on offer. So with major updates when it comes to War Thunder, normally there are a few decent sized bugs which come along with it, but I'd say Direct Hit is probably one of the worst when it comes to this that we've had in the past year. Even Update New Power, it had some performance issues, but nothing to the scale that Direct Hit has had, with the point of fuel being a large issue when it comes to aircraft, and also the fact that some aircraft ended up shooting themselves when they were flying about. There's also issues when it comes to ground as well, but they're not as apparent. But you literally had at least 2 massive game-breaking bugs when it came to update Direct Hit, and generally that doesn't happen often, and it's always funny to see. But luckily they seem to have been mainly fixed now after a few days. The first changelog that we have was 2.9.0.17. This came out on the 8th of September, whereas the Direct Hits came out on the 7th. Generally, this should be seen as kind of like a bug fixing patch from all the stuff which is around in Update Direct Hits. That's normally what happens on the days after it, which is why I think it's worth going over them. So the first one is a bug has been fixed where players couldn't see the attention to the map marker on the minimap during a battle. Yep, that was one of the bugs that was happening in ground, and it was really annoying. It actually turns out being able to see the map and see what's going on is quite important. A bug has been, I'm guessing they were supposed to put fixed there, but they forgot the fixed, where an afterburner flame looked black in ULQ settings. So that's kind of interesting. No yellow for you. A bug has been fixed that prevented a vehicle's pop-up menu displaying in the test drive window whilst using a gamepad. Not a huge one, but nice that they fixed this as well. This is also why it's very important for people to report bugs so they can get them fixed as quick as possible. These are all the day after the update, so maybe some of them were known before the update went live. They just didn't have time to fix them, or maybe they're just very minor things that were overlooked. A bug has been fixed that prevented the decal tab from closing whilst using a gamepad, so you were just stuck staring at the decals. A bug has been fixed that in some cases led to a crash on PlayStation consoles, well that's a bit of an issue, and the display of ground units at low heights has been fixed for weapons with TV seekers. So I suppose that's cool. I wonder what the issue was there. I unfortunately wasn't able to see. Then we also have the IS-7, a bug with an incorrect display of the coaxial 7.62mm machine gun in X-ray mode has been fixed, so I'm guessing it was pointed a little bit off. The Vickers Mark III, the vignette of the gunner's sight has been fixed. The field of view has been widened, so I'm guessing you weren't able to see too much with the Vickers Mark III. I'm looking forward to that tank. I've been focusing mainly on the Japanese stuff recently, just because there's some of the new stuff that are added to the game. But I think afterwards I'm going to give a go at the Marder 1A3 and also the Vickers Mark III. The PE8 as well, the separate fuel tanks have been enabled, so that reduces the chances of a fire. A more precise inertia calculation has been implemented depending on the current weight, so fuel and ammunition load, and thermodynamics of engines has been specified. So overall the PE8 should fly a little bit better instead of the wonky tank that it is, and then also it should have a reduced, or it should have a better survival, especially when set on fire. The AV8A, a bug with the display of the flares block, has been fixed in the preset flares chaff 240. Yeah, it was kind of insane how the AV8A it just comes out of nowhere with 240 countermeasures on it. So that should be very easy to use. I've been using the GR3 recently to try and get it spaded out, and now that I have like half the upgrades on it, it seems really just very, very chill to fly. And I feel like the AV8A would be very similar, apart from you just get way more countermeasures now, so it should be even easier to use. The MiG-27M, the R-60 missiles in the preset with 100 kilo bombs have been changed to R-60Ms, so a little bit more power there. It seems like they're really trying to sell the MiG-27 being a useful aircraft instead of it just having the gimmick of the guided bombs and also the TV guided stuff. So they've added stuff like R-60Ms to it. They've added, obviously, it has the countermeasures. They're trying their best to make it actually useful instead of just a worse MiG-23. And I think they've kind of succeeded right now, especially with a lot of other nations getting some pretty powerful stuff this update, such as the Viggen and the F4EJ Kai. We're going to have to see how stuff like the MiG-27 works out. The ZTZ 99-3, they've reduced the armor durability of the hull's front in comparison to the 2. Okay, fair enough. Oh no, so that they fixed it, so therefore both of them should have similar armor characteristics, where the 3 didn't have it before. They've also changed the ZTZ-96, the 96A, the ZTZ-99-2, and 3. The reloading time for the 125mm cannon has been changed from 7.5 to 7.1 seconds. Praise the Lords, it has finally happened. Our boys, the Chinese, finally have the standard reload that the majority of USSR vehicles that they're based off of actually have, of 7.1 seconds. Thank God. It means that you don't get out-reloaded as much by a lot of the things that you face, and now you actually have a slightly better autoloader. I've no idea why the Chinese reloads was always more than the Soviet one, especially since the mechanisms are supposed to be very similar between them, or at least based off of them, and now we finally have parity for the Chinese. Eventually, the Chinese will have some crazy lineups. Right now, it's so much better than a year ago, which is so much better than the year before. It's really nice to see. The Type 79 ASM, the elevation above line of sight in flight, has been added. Well, that's pretty cool. The ZSU-37-2, displaying of the different angular guidance speeds for the left and right cannons in the X-ray view, has been fixed, so it should be easier to aim. The Peacock, the radar, has been added to the X-ray view. Good stuff for the Peacock. The Churchill 1, a bug with reverse track rotation, has been fixed. So basically, if you went forward, the tracks went backwards. There was a few machines that used to do that. The M60s used to do that, which was kind of funny. Aviation SB mode now requires easy anti-cheat enabled. Well, that's great. Doesn't matter though. Won't stop the abuse, as I've said before. Literally or the vast majority of the problems that ECSB Air could be solved is to remove the option of people creating their own private rooms. Pretty much as simple as that. In AirSB sessions created by players, now disabled bots will change to missing or exited players. That's cool, but once again, similar problem as I've said before, won't fix it until you remove the option. A bug has been fixed with disabled the rocket ballistic calculator in mixed battles if a player previously played in a ground vehicle or naval vessel. That's kind of interesting. A bug has been fixed with disabling the ballistic calculator when ammo is depleted, and the fix means that it is not necessary to repeatedly switch it on in AB mode. Well, that's good. And then they've added to the F104G Italy and also the F104S, the AIM-9J, so they're going to be a lot more powerful. Basically, for the F104G, the AIM-9B modification has been moved to rank 2, the LAU-10A to rank 3, and the preset of 2 AIM-9Bs is now available without modification, research by default. The F104S, the AIM-7E modification has been moved to rank 2, the LAU-10A modification no longer requires research, and the AIM-9B modification has been moved to rank 3. So basically what happened with these planes, as we've talked about many times, Italy really unfortunately struggles in the area that we have right now when it comes to the game, because they didn't really produce anything. And the main issue that you have when it comes to that is they're never really going to have what's seen as high-tier meta vehicles until we get to the next stage of aircraft. And the F104S that Italy used never used anything better than AIM-9Bs. The AIM-9Ls is the next step when it comes to War Thunder, and also when it comes to the Italians with a different version of the F104S, but the problem with that is AIM-9Ls are all aspect sidewinders, so a little bit of a jump from the standard sidewinders that we already have. Now, luckily, there are other countries in the world that weren't as silly as Italy and actually used some further modifications of the Sidewinder, e.g. Turkey and also I believe the Dutch when it comes to the F104Gs. So Gaijin looked at that historical documentation, worked out if those nations did in fact use AIM-9Js on their F104Gs and F104Ss, and then from there gave them to the Italian ones because it was shown to be proven that on those variants of the F104s, which were exactly identical to the Italian ones, they were able to hold them. That's pretty much the whole story of it. And at the end of the day, if it means that I don't have to hear Italians scream in my ears for a few months until the next update when they also get shit on because their country didn't use anything, I will be very, very happy. Now, the F8E, a preset with 2 AIM-9Cs and 2 AIM-9Ds has been added, so you get to have a little bit of best of both worlds going on, which is quite nice. The T1, the material and armor glass thickness in the nose section of the cockpit has been fixed, so we'll have to see what that actually culminates to. And then conditions for obtaining some achievements and rewards for completing them have been changed, so this will not affect the rewards of achievements already received, and the progress or partially completed ones. The full list of achievements is the miscellaneous custom built, the miscellaneous path or perfection, fully equipped, rearmament, and also proved as improved. You've got the crew, which is expert, The research of Only the Stars Are Higher, Can't Catch Me, Victory Machine, and Flagship. So we're going to have to see how those have been changed in the game. And then incorrect display of fuel has been corrected. That mistakenly depended on the connection quality. A bug has been fixed where AI aircraft in test drives spawned with low initial speed, where they stalled and crashed. And then also, a bug has been fixed that in some cases led to a client crash on downloading the Hangar on NVIDIA graphics cards. With the B-29 also nuke carrier in Ground Up B, the incorrect respawn type bombers has been removed. They also screwed with a bunch of sounds once again, so a bug has been fixed with the overly loud sound of the Beglett Panzer and British 40mm QF2 gun, as well as the 57mm S4 gun from the gunner's view. That's really cool. What about the M42's gun, the M19's gun, the M163's gun, which are insanely loud and really, really obnoxious? The overly loud sound of the rotary barrel gear on the M61 has been fixed. No, it hasn't. That's a lie. I will tell you right now it's a lie because I was listening to it yesterday. You can hear it across the map and it literally takes over the game when it comes to sound, meaning that you can't hear anything else. Fix the sounds. I don't understand. Right. One of the most annoying things to me in War Thunder, every single update, we get new sets of sounds. Every single one. Somebody is really trying to justify their job when it comes to working on War Thunder. Some of the sounds are okay. Other sounds are not too bad. Some of them are pretty bad. But the problem, the massive problem, when it comes to War Thunder and its sound design is they cannot get the balance of volumes of the different sounds correct. It doesn't matter how much you screw with your sounds in the game when it comes to getting the levels right. For some reason, they cannot get the balance right on these things, and every update they screw it up in a different way. At this moment in time, I can't hear planes. I can't hear helicopters. I just can't. The only time I can hear them is if they're already past me. When it comes to planes, and in helicopters, the only time I know they're around is when I start hearing their gun firing, which is ridiculous. That shouldn't be how this is. So I'm really hoping that whoever is behind the sound design will once again, in the next update coming in a few months, try and justify their job once again and change all the sounds or a lot of the sounds again and screw up something else. I'm getting really tired of this. This has been going on for 2 years now at this point. Please find a way of being able to balance the different sounds. A bug has been fixed with the missing sound of the naval gun chase camera for the first 4 seconds of flight. Well, that's good. The overly quiet sound at the beginning of an artillery barrage has been fixed. Nice. So we have even more sounds going into your head, giving you a headache. A bug has been fixed where the sound of the M230 guns on the Apache series of helicopters didn't depend on the rate of fire. Well, that's lovely. But as I said, you really need to work on the balance of sounds, not anything else. We also had an update today when it came to the game, and they fixed a bunch of other stuff. So inverted border and fill colors on the player nicknames have been fixed on the lighting scheme of player nameplates. This is actually a really cool thing because, at least for me, when it came to the game, I used to use like dark green and pink, but recently I've had to use light green and pink because the dark green option is literally just light green. So I'm hoping that this will mean it goes back to normal. And then also a bug has been fixed where in some cases autocannon fire might cause the damage indicator to appear on a player's own aircraft. So this is the one about like where you fire the guns and you get like the damage indicators. We'll have to see if it actually is fixed. Obviously this came out today. This was one of the major bugs of the game when it came to the new updates. A bug has also been fixed that made aircraft contacts at distances between 2.8 and 4.6 kilometers blurred and almost invisible in the air. That would have been a bit of a problem. And then user created rooms have been removed from the Air SB room list. Now they're divided by nation presets together with matchmaker created rooms. Looks like they are removing the ability to be able to create your own Air SB rooms. This is a very positive thing and should have been done an incredibly long time ago. because of the fact of the abuses. So this is awesome, lovely stuff, wonderful to see. Let's see how people try and abuse the system next time, and then people bitching about the repair costs as well because of the fact that people are abusing the systems. In the RSB room list, a new checkbox has been added, show supported only, which allows the hiding of all rooms unavailable for the selected aircraft and gaming nation, including all of those for squad mates. That's pretty cool. A bug has been caused the progress bar for some tasks to be displayed incorrectly has been fixed. That's pretty awesome. Then the EC665 Tiger had, and also the HAP, a bug with increased number of rounds from the 30mm GTM 781 cannon has been changed from 450 to 750 when using the more modification. So you get a few more rounds, which should help you out quite a lot. And the AD2 Sky Raider, the aircraft armor has been fixed, steel armor plate behind the engine has been added, which is quite good. And then also a bunch of sound changes, because once again, have to justify jobs. The aircraft are now more audible from the ground. Wonderful. It's really annoying that this was literally broken in Update Direct Hit. So I'm hoping this is the case. We'll have to see going into the game later. The volume of the collision of ground vehicles with obstacles has been slightly increased. Well, that's lovely. A bug where some mechanization sounds were missing in the aircraft cockpit has been fixed. Not a huge change, but nice. A bug that sometimes caused enemy allied aircraft cannons to fire silently has been fixed. How does that happen? A bug where sometimes the engine sounds of enemy allied aircraft were missing has been fixed. So once again, just silent vehicles. A bug that might interrupt landing sounds of the gear touching the ground has been fixed. Well, that's quite nice. A bug that could cause a sound of water splashing when enemy allied ground vehicles respawned has been fixed. I think that's because a lot of the maps have water under them, I'm pretty sure. So, because sometimes when you drop bombs, I think the factory map was one of these. Sometimes you saw like splashes of water go around, which I thought was kind of funny. The sound of water splashing for enemy allied vehicles has been changed, and track sounds of players and enemy allied vehicles have been slightly increased in volume. So we'll have to see if this fixes all of the audio issues that have happened since Update Direct Hit. I would wish that they would stop screwing with this stuff, because it is very obvious and getting very aggravating that over the last year, every time they have changed these things in a substantial way, they have broken so much stuff with it. Sound in War Thunder might be one of those things that is changed the most when it comes to the game, and also the thing that causes the most annoyance because of many of the changes not making a lot of sense. I don't know whether this is because of testing issues, I don't know whether this is because of other issues, but at the end of the day, if you are shipping something in a live update where you can literally not hear parts of the game, it might be worth to go back to the drawing board and get it fixed before stuff like that in a major way gets into your game. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank BRFC, Swollen Ostrich, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Conte Baraka, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Lafouche, Barine, and Samuel Schlick for supporting the channel.